Hi everyone, this is Vineet Pandey, and we're going to talk about English in India. This is lecture 2. Unfortunately, my laptop was not able to get proper internet, and this was the reason I've chosen this mobile mode. So it's a kind of experiment also. If you're able to see me in a proper way in mobile mode, I can go for live lectures from anywhere. Like even from my car, I can go for a live lecture. So I believe you are getting me live, and uh, don't forget to share your comments, like if the mobile version is okay or not. Till now, we have talked about behaviorism of F. Skinner, how a teacher should understand the background of the students, their mindset, and what creates the hurdle between learning and the learner. Second thing, we have talked about ELT as the umbrella term, TOEFL, IELTS, and other kind of English languages. Then we talked about sandwich theory. We have talked about TBLL, CLT, like communication language teaching, TBLL, task based language learning. All those who are watching it should go for the same video, part 1, same channel. Now, here we're going to talk about drills of teaching English. Here we have few drills that I've written for you. Put the title Teaching Drills. The first one we have is the repetition drill. So when a speaker of language 2 English is teaching language 1 learners, what he does is he makes them repeat some question answers. What's your name? This is the name. What's your father's name? This is the name. So technically the question answer drill, also known as repetition drill. Here we take easy questions, prepare the students for easy answers, and this is how we prepare the students to answer those things. This is known as repetition drill. After this, the next drill that we have is known as reputation drill. Reputation drill is very simple. Reputation drill is related to pronunciation. To make you understand the right pronunciation, in reputation drill, teacher pronounces the right word and we imitate the word, the pronunciation, so that we can have the proper pronunciation of the same thing. It's known as reputation drill. Remember, reputation word related to pronunciation is a kind of insult, and even I objected this. I had a word with a JNU professor that why the word reputation has been applied for pronunciation things. Like, is it related to reputations? But it's the oldest techniques. So that's why the British Raj was using it for the reputation thing. Like, if you want to speak English just like the foreigners do, then it's related to your reputation if you have the right pronunciation. But remember, don't go for the fake accent. People with fake accent are those who don't even understand the language, what language is. Next drill that we have is the transformation drill. In transformation drill, you ask a basic question and you ask the same question by converting it into interrogative or negative means. Sometimes, like, he is Ram. Then the next line is, who is Ram? He is not Ram. So technically, imperative, negative, or we can also say that interrogative structures of sentences which get transformed one by one, and this is how the learner learns. जैसे आपने grammar पढ़ी होगी, how did you learn grammar? So he goes to school. Where does he go? He goes to school. He does not go to school. So technically, one structure with two different transformations, it makes the listener, reader understand these things in an easy way. Second thing, after this, we have the next drill known as chain drill. Chain drill is a question related to another question, generating another question. Means for question number 1 generates question number 2, question number 2 generates question number 3. Technically, the question has a series and they're all interconnected. For example, where do you live? I live in Mumbai. Why Mumbai is famous? Mumbai is famous for Bollywood. What is Bollywood? Bollywood is like cinema hall, movies. What is movies? So questions related to each other. Technically, it involves the brain of the learner, involves the brain of the student, and they have a better understanding of these things. Now, after this, we're going to talk about something different. Here we have the concept of basic English that I already have given you the idea in the first video. 850 words by C.K. Ogden. The basic words which were involved used to speak English in foreign lands. So what he did, he simply compiled 850 words so that you can have a list of those words which are regularly used in foreign countries and you can speak better English in those countries. Then we have special English. It has 1500 words used in USA for the news broadcasting. A collection of 1500 words which are primarily used in USA for news broadcasting. Then this is like we have C speak, the language which is used by the naval engineers or marines, or we can simply say that the language of the sea, language of the ocean. Then we have Globish language, Globis. Globish is by Jean Paul Nere. It has again 1500 words. So technically, remember this thing that there are people, philosophers, scholars, they have developed their own languages. Now, we talk about Stephen Krashen. Stephen Krashen is famous for his hypothesis. He has given five to six hypotheses, and these hypotheses are actually related to learning. So make sure you remember they may ask you that Stephen Krashen has given the hypothesis of, and they have asked this thing. So remember, Stephen Krashen talks about input hypothesis. Input hypothesis is dealing with second language acquisition, SLA, also known as the monitor model. Remember, this model was developed by the SLA, second language acquisition, was developed by Stephen Krashen in 1970s and 80s. The hypotheses are input hypothesis, the acquisition learning hypothesis, the monitor hypothesis, natural order hypothesis, and affective filter hypothesis. So these are the five hypotheses that you have to remember. No need to go in the depth of these things, but make sure you remember these hypotheses. After that, we have the concept of Sapir-Whorf analysis, also known as Whorfianism. Sapir, Sapir hyphen Whorf, Sapir-Whorf, also known as Whorfianism, Whorfianism. Sapir-Whorf hypothesis is that you speak by your dresses, by your behaviors. So, like many of us, we see people, we say that we observe and we actually understand the reality. How do you observe? How do you understand the reality? So, what we do is we see the dressing sense of someone, we judge the language, behavior, the attitude. Like, what if you want to join my coaching classes? Your parents come to me and they find Vineet Pandey with heavy tattoos, those pierced rings everywhere, funky hairstyle. Your parents won't let you join my classes. They'll be like, oh, this is not a teacher. He seems to be some hippie. He's not a right man. Why? What if I actually wear tattoos and I pierce my nose, my ears? I can teach. But technically, my attire, my gestures, they speak for me. That is called Sapir-Whorf analysis. Technically, I'll read it for you. Sapir-Whorf analysis actually indicates that a behavior of an individual represents his background. आपका social behavior जो है, आप जैसे बात करते हैं, imagine a kind of Ferrari का गेट खुलता है, and a boy, a very handsome boy, dressed in coat, pant, like a gentleman with good goggles, a very classy way, comes out of his Ferrari and then does like this. कैसा लगेगा बे? Don't you think all of a sudden things will be like, अरे यार, he comes from that background. That's how they speak. That's what we speak about each other. That's Sapir-Whorf analysis. One more thing, that's very important point. One of my student in the batch, he said, why are you making things so easy? I said, why? Because he asked about the same thing. He said, Sapir-Whorf is very tough. I said, tell me whether I'm wrong or right. He said, you are right. You are teaching right. But why are you making it very easy? It's like, बच्चा भी समझ सकता है. It's like, he was like, why are you using the language of the kids like anyone can understand? I said, that's the talent. That's why you are paid. I want you to be prepared for these things. The easiest way. Remember, if the class is boring, it is not the student's fault. It is the teacher who has to make it interesting. If your science teacher does not get you involved in science, it's fault. If your commerce teacher does not make you think about the numericals, the results, it's his fault. If your literature teacher does not make you feel it, learn it, smile in the class, it's his fault. Sapir Whorf looks very horrible, but it's easy. It's very simple, easy. Now remember this thing, Scopus theory. Scopus theory is actually related to translation method. So Scopus theory is simply it deals with the translation method of learning. You translate something, you understand internet issue hai kya? I see. I think internet issue hai. Scopus theory is again people will like what is Scopus? Oh my god, so tough. Scopus is simply translation learning method. If you're not able to learn the right language directly, just translate it the way we did in sandwich theory. Get lost. Now you'll be like, what is get lost? Translate it in English. Chale jao, dur ho jao, and you follow it. Scopus is the formula of translation to understand things, and that's why we do translation. Why do we do translation? Just to understand in better way. That's Scopus theory. Then we have GTM, grammar translation method, a very easy method for followed in our Indian education system. Subject verb की first form object ऐसे करके पढ़ाते थे. Our teacher, he would come in the classroom, he would go to the board directly, he would write sub plus v1 verb की first form plus object. हाँ भाई खड़ा हो जा, हाँ भाई stand up. Subject he, subject कौन होता है? He, she, this, that. अच्छा, so what we did, we just mugged up, we just mugged up. That's called grammar translation method. Grammar is involved to translate those things, to relate, to use the formula GTM method used in Indian schools and colleges. Then direct method, natural method, also known as natural method. Direct method is asking someone to do something with the gestures. I was like, sit down, sit down. That's direct method. Sit down, isharas, sit down. The politicians, what they do? Baith jao, sit down. That's direct method. Indirect method, discovery method. Discovery method is important. Indirect method, make the people think, what did you say? Make the people learn. For example, the easiest example would be indirect method. Do you want me to give you the funny example in my way? Okay. There was a boy, he would ask his father, Papa, I want to join politics. I want to be a politician like you. His father said, no, that's not good. Then again he would insist every day, day by day. He would keep insisting, Papa, I want to be a politician like you. I want to join it. One day his father got fed up. He was like, okay, today I'll teach you how to join politics. Come on, go to the top floor. He went there. His father said, now jump, I will catch you. He said, no, Papa, it's too high. I cannot jump. It will break my leg. His father said, don't worry, I'll catch you. It's okay, I'm your father. I will catch you. Don't worry, jump. Son said, okay, I'm coming. And he was like, ah. His father didn't do anything. He broke his leg. His father took him to hospital. When he woke up, he said, Father, you deceived me. And father said, that's how you got your first lesson. Never trust even your father in politics. This is indirect learning. Okay? Easiest method indirect is, if the water is hot, you said the water is hot, don't dip your hand. But somebody is not willing. Ask the person to dip the hand. He will dip it, he'll understand the water is hot. That's indirect method. Discovery method. Make the people think about it. So apart from these things, make sure you remember idiolect, ideoglossia, register, creole, pedgin, and cliche. The first word we have is cliche, CLICHE. Cliches are the words or the phrases which become kind of which become meaningless just because of the repetitive use of those words. For example, if you keep saying sorry, and you do the wrong. Suppose you found someone, you slapped him, you said sorry. He'll be like, okay, pardon, go. You slapped him again, sorry. He'll be like, go, pardon. You slapped him fifth time, saying the fifth time sorry, sorry, frat, sorry, thappad, sorry, thappad. For how many times that gentleman is going to accept your apology? Sorry will become meaningless after 3 to 4. And they'll be like, so cliches are those words which become meaningless. You keep telling someone I love you and you keep beating that person, then how does this mean? Right? ये आपको थोड़ा बराबर की एज वाला एग्जांपल समझ में आएगा. दूसरा क्या पढ़ रहे थे हम? क्लिशे हो गया. पेडगिन, कुछ लोग उसे पेडजिन बोलते हैं, पेडगिन बोला जाता है वैसे, PIDZIN, पेडगिन. Pidgin is a common language used by two speakers of different language. If a Kashmiri has to talk to a student of Kerala, Kashmiri and Keralite, Kashmiri has Kashmiri language, Keralite has Malayalam, but they both have no idea about each other's language. They'll find out a common language to talk, either Hindi or English. So, first of all, the basic rule of Pidgin is that both of these speakers, they will use the common language which should be their second language. It should not be the first language of someone. Means if they are talking to each other in English, then Kashmiri's English language is second language and Malayali's second language is English language. Means they both are not comfortable. They have used the third language as a medium. That's called Pidgin. In JNU MPhil entrance, it was a question discuss the role of English as a Pidgin in India. So this is what Pidgin is. Register, a question of net exam. Creole, Pidgin, cliche, they are all the questions of net exam. Register is a set code of language used in a particular context. The way I talk to you is totally different to the way I talk to my seniors. When I make a call to my Delhi University professors, my senior professors, I'm very much nervous, shy. Hi sir, this is Vineet. Can I speak to you for 5 minutes if you're not busy? Technically, I'm speaking to my senior, I'm speaking to my professors, my language is changed. I talk to my best friends, my language is changed. I'm on camera, I'm live, my language is changed. Now, it is not that I speak Hindi, Punjabi, Sindhi, Odia. No, I speak Hindi only. But the words are chosen. So, when I speak to you, I am very sure I will not use any slang language. I'll not use any loose word, any loose phrase, or a negative word. When I'm with my best friend, I may curse society, I may curse traffic of Delhi, I may say that life is hell. Technically, when you speak to your parents, you don't abuse. When you speak to your best friends, you do that, right? So technically, how do you choose those particular words? That's called register, the set code of register, right? Now, after this, the next one we are left with Pidgin register Creole. Creole is mixture of language, Creole. When multiple people with multiple language structures live together, I think ये Creole की बात हो चुकी है in the last video when I talked about 22 people talking about playing cricket with 22 languages. Creole is a mixture of multiple language which results in the birth of a new language. After this, we have talked about Creole is done. We have talked about ideoglossia and idiolect. Ideoglossia is the language of a small circle. Idiolect is the language of the individual. Your voice tone, your way of expressing, your behavior, your conversations. So this is ideoglossia and idiolect concept. Idiolect is the language of individual. Ideoglossia is the language of a small circle. Now, apart from these things, don't forget the language acquisition device. One of my student, he asked me a question, sir, what is LAD? So I was thinking that maybe LAD is related to something, LAD literature. So I was like, LAD literature is LAD literature. Later he came to me, he said, sir, it was language acquisition device. I said, buddy, ask me the complete title. We are not prepared with everything. Like you just ask me this, TTYL, talk to you later. So we are not the kind of people who will always go for one kind of basic thing. You use the word lad, I went for this thing, lad literature. So simply what you have to do is focus on all these things: TBLL, CALL, CLT that I've already talked in my last video. Point out करो जितने भी important चीजें that I have talked. And remember, now days are less, so just go for revision. Nothing new readings. No need to read new things. No need to read for go to go for something unknown. Now, apart from these things, we'll be giving you Unit 10's lecture. Unit 10's lecture, please do not share it with others. India is clueless about Unit 10's lecture, so please don't share it with one. This is the reason I didn't upload it on YouTube. People copy my videos, take my audios, and convert it into videos. Knowledge should not be stolen, it should be learnt and made better. You should go for the advancement of learning. So, take care, bye bye, and soon you'll get the private video of Unit 10. God bless you all. Take care, bye bye. How to end this?